we're going to discuss why Dota Underlords is in the position it's in, okay? It's fading from the collective consciousness of gamers, and we're going to discuss why that's happening. Secondly, we're going to discuss how Dota Underlords can in fact recover with a little case study, and then we're going to talk about 5 different unique ways that Dota Underlords can redefine itself in 2021 and get right back on the right track. Let's get started. First of all, Dota Underlords is in trouble. We all know this. Back in May 2019, the game had 200,000 concurrent players, which is incredible. Now, obviously that number is a little interesting because, well, it's a free-to-play game, so people can just install it on a whim when people are most interested. And that's one of the benefits of free-to-play. It has that kind of initial burst, and the idea is that you want to, hold on to your people. You want to hold on to the people that are playing your game so that you can, continue to monetize and maintain a competitive scene and etc. And Dota Underlords has not done that. Concurrently, we have 5,500 players on any given day, and that is pretty rough. Season 1's release was in February 25th, 2020, and the first rotation occurred in August of 2020. And now that's already problematic. That is a very significant amount of time to go without a meta-defining update. And okay, we'll get to the graph in a second. But another major problem is that the projected release for Season 2 was May or June of 2020. That never happened. And now we're literally almost at a full calendar year since Season 1's release. No, it's unforgivable. You cannot sustain a game like this on that kind of timeline. It's impossible. And the numbers show it, okay? Right here is the jump up in Season 1, okay? We went to about 30,000 players. 30 to 35,000 players. That's a healthy number. You take that all day long, right? It's literally 7 times the amount of players we have now. Of course it's beneficial. But look what happens. The game actually held its audience quite well, okay? That goes to tell you that Dota Underlords is actually a good game. But what happened? In May, we needed an update. It didn't come. And then interest just trailed off. And then the problem was that by the time New Blood on the Streets came, people forgot about the game. It was out of consciousness, and it was too late. It was too late to save the game, and it was not a Season 2 update. It was a minor change to the meta, which was welcome for the players that were still sticking to it. It wasn't enough. It was not enough. And what's interesting about it, the projected release date as communicated was May. They were perfectly dead on correct. As the numbers started to wane, May would have created an update that would have spiked interest, and we're going to talk about that in the game in our case study. Hades. And everything, Alex, what does Hades have to do with Dota Underlords? These games are totally different. They are, but they're not, okay? They're very similar in the sense that they're session-based, okay? Hades, you do a run. Underlords, you have a game. Then you go to bed. Or you have another run. Or you have another game, right? They're session-based experiences, and that's one of the reasons why they're so highly replayable and enjoyable, right? Now, what you might not realize, everyone knows that Hades is a great game, right? It's one of the most celebrated games of last year. But what you might not understand is that Hades had a quiet, dark period. Like right here is 2,000 concurrent players. These are 5,000 concurrent player numbers. Basically exactly what's happening in Dota Underlords. And you know what happened? 1.0, a major release, a significant content update that interests people, and it captured people's imaginations, it captured their interest, and it held it. But look, that's no different. This line here is no different than the line on Underlords. They had very similar trajectories. They were holding their players, but the difference was that Hades updated. Underlords didn't. Hades updated again. Underlords didn't, okay? And now Hades, despite not having an update in some time, has tripled the number of players, okay? 15,000 is probably still not what you want, but Hades is not Dota. Hades does not have the base of Dota 2 to work off of. Dota Underlords does. Do not forget that Dota 2 is one of the biggest game franchises in the entire world, okay? The amount of potential pushing power that Dota has for any kind of subset game is so significant, okay? Dota Underlords, with proper care and updates, could be by far one of the biggest auto battlers out there and one of the biggest games on Steam, but we're not seeing that. But what you're seeing here is evidence that right when interest was starting to fade, an update saved the game. And then guess what? It didn't drop much lower because another update saved the game as well. You kept people in the loop. Dota Underlords did not do that. But they can because Hades did it and Underlords can too. Let's talk about the 5 fundamental things that Dota Underlords has to do in 2021 to improve, it starts with communication, okay? Communication is the most important thing when talking about online communities and developing and maintaining competitive and, casual community scenes. And Dota Underlords, I mean, the development team, if it exists, that's not even a meme. That's not even a joke. Like, we actually don't know if the game's in active development. That's what's insane. And I had to take a screenshot of this because this was 9 months ago, okay? And the Dota Underlords team literally identified right here. Question: why? This was at a time where they were actually taking kind of like weekly, monthly questions from the community. Question: why has the Dota Underlords team decided to communicate more than any other team at Valve, and how has this worked to the team's benefit? We've never made a game like this before, and working with the community allowed us to figure out how it worked, and during the beta season we experimented all the time, iterating quickly and adding and removing features while communicating with the community to see what was resonating, what wasn't. It has been an enormous benefit to the team. The development team themselves identifying that communication with the community is one of the most beneficial parts of the Dota Underlords experience, and yet they've gone radio silent. For months! For months! This is their Twitter. They haven't said anything since September 2020. What? They haven't said anything on Reddit. They haven't updated their blogs. They have said absolutely nothing. It's been radio silent. And the problem with that is that it's a choice. Choosing to not communicate with your community is a choice, and it sends a very negative message to the people of that community. What you tell people when you do not communicate with them, when you choose to not communicate with them, is you tell them that they're not important, that they're not worth your time or the hassle of communicating with. And that is a very poor perspective to have on the people that support your game. Okay? This is very frustrating because it does not have to be like this. Okay? They've made a choice, and that is a problem. And listen, I love Valve. These words, they hurt when I say them because I don't want to sound negative, but I can't sugarcoat this. This is bad. If you are Valve and if you are a part of the development team, you've made a critical error in not communicating with the community that has basically kept this game afloat for so long. The 5,500 players that play this right now are the people that are most passionate about your game, and they have not heard a word from you in months and months and months, okay? When that happens, you send a very clear message to them about what you think they're worth. Okay? And that is something that is very problematic. Number 2, and this goes off communication, the idea of roadmaps. Now, you might be thinking, Alex, roadmaps? Who cares about a roadmap? I do. I do as a player, and I do as a content creator. Let me explain. Okay, players, especially if they're playing something competitively, want to know that the time they're spending investing in a game is worth it. Okay, people that play Dota 2, they want to rank up, they want to get better, they want to, they know Dota 2 is there, right? The competitive scene is there. You have Reddit leagues that are there. You have, the battle cups that are there. There are opportunities to play Dota 2 competitively, and you want to be confident in your time with the game. But Dota 2 is a game that's been around for a long time. That's been under a development cycle for a very long time. Dota Underlords is brand new. Let's take a look at Temtem here. Temtem releases, and what they immediately do is they give their fan base a roadmap. Here's what so they released this basically in winter, in spring, right? Spring 2020, they literally gave people an understanding of what the development cycle was, literally a year and change out. Like, they literally said, okay, guys, a year and a half from now, this is what we're going to be working on and releasing. And if you're a Temtem content creator, you understand the plan and you're sticking to it, okay? If you're a player, you understand the plan and you're sticking with it. As a content creator, the hardest thing was never knowing if Dota Underlords was ever going to get updated ever again. And you might think, Alex, who cares? The people care, and that's the problem. So for me, as a content creator, the hardest decision I had to make was saying, I can't cover Underlords anymore because I don't know if this game's ever, this thing might be just beyond, it might be done. The game might not ever get updated again for all I know. And you see the numbers go down across the board. You see the numbers go down just like in every conceivable metric, and people's interest in the game wavers. But if you were to give people roadmaps, it helps them to understand what they're in for and makes us, okay, listen, right now they're in a bit of a lull period, but I know that in summer, The big rotation's coming, so I'm going to hold it out. Content creators are the same. There might be lull periods where people kind of lose interest in the game, but if I know an update's coming, I'm going to tough it out because I'm like, you know what, when that update hits, like, it's a rejuvenation for the game. It's a rejuvenation for the community. It's a rejuvenation for me. Having a roadmap would keep people engaged because they know that they're not wasting their time, that the game is in development, that there are ongoing plans, okay? And I hate to say it, but TFT did this better. And listen, I'm never playing TFT. I get asked this all the time, Alex, play Teamfight Tactics. I'm not doing it. Why? Because I'm a Dota fan. I love Dota. I want to play Dota games. I don't care about Teamfight Tactics. I don't care about League of Legends. I care about Dota. But it pisses me off to know that they did it way better than my favorite franchise. And there's no denying it. Okay, they've maintained a competitive and casual scene. Okay, their numbers have gone down too. But like, you gotta be kidding me. I just took a quick screenshot here. 40,000 versus 189. Like, are you kidding me? And one might say, oh, Alex, League of Legends is bigger than Dota 2. Dota 2 is still one of the largest game franchises on the planet. Do not forget that, okay? It has 700 concurrent players on any given day, and that's on a slow day, okay? 700,000 concurrent players. Are you telling me that a game that is an offshoot of a 700,000 player game can only get 189 viewers? And what's crazy with that is that 189 viewers, that's the highest number I'd seen in like 2 months. Okay? Usually it's like 6 people, 7 people, 50 I see usually. Okay? That's the highest I've seen. And you know I'm right. And the problem is look at this. They gave a roadmap. Teamfight Tactics gave a roadmap. They let people know when the competitive scene was happening. They let people know when the set launches. Look at all these sets. They're doing mid-set updates, rotations in the middle. We talked about that. That is so important. Set 5 launch. They're talking about new modes, improved arenas, all these things. And we still haven't gotten season 2. They're going to literally have like 8 different rotations before we get one significant one. It's impossible not to get upset about, but you have to recognize that this is way better. Dota Auto Chess in the Dota 2 client is better, okay? It's just, you need the roadmap because you have to communicate and give people reason to believe that the game is under development, and also to keep yourself honest, to know that you have like deadlines to hit. Like what are we talking about? We're talking about a season that's a year. We're talking about a full year of season 1. Anyways, I'm trying not to get upset while talking here. Number 3, you need to have significant meta updates, okay? The game is best when it is refreshed, okay? And like you literally have development assets for scrappies, and they're just sitting. Like, you must be able to just like throw scrappies in. I know I'm not a game dev. I know you're probably thinking, Alex, that's not that easy, idiot. I know, but like, you literally have Sniper, Tinker, Clockwork. You have the Inventors and Scrappies. They were in the game in beta. Why can't you put them in the game? Like, why? Why aren't they in the game yet? Like, you have the assets. And it's just, it blows my mind because it's like, there has to be multiple rotations per individual season, okay? Listen, if the content generation of the battle pass is what's holding everything back, then literally make the battle pass 50 levels, make it longer to get to those 50 levels, like cut the battle pass in half from 100 to 50, and then just do 3 rotations, a rotation every 2 months. Throw scrappies in, take insects out. Just throw scrappies in, just throw them in, who cares, right? Yes, it's not perfect, but people would be like, oh, scrappies are in? Why? I don't know. It's chaos, but it's going to be fun for the next 3 to 4 weeks because it's different. We need constant meta-altering updates. It's the only way you can sustain a game like this, okay? It's the only way. And we're not getting them. We're not getting them. Another thing I want to talk about here is the idea of cross-promotional content. This blows my mind, and this is probably the biggest thing that Dota Underlords needs to do to be successful. One of the greatest assets that Dota Underlords has is its affiliation to Dota 2. I mentioned it previously, okay? Now, Dota 2 players need to be given a reason to play Dota Underlords. You may think, Alex, if they don't want to play Dota Underlords, who cares? No, you're thinking about it wrong. You need to create an environment where if Dota 2 is kind of like, you know, the ocean, that Underlords and Artifact are like the rivers that you can travel through to get to the other oceans, right? Like, Dota Underlords needs the support of Dota 2. And one of the best ways you can do that is by giving people the opportunity to kind of unlock cosmetics and unlockables in Dota Underlords for Dota 2. The idea here is this. Let's say you have a 50 level battle pass, okay? Every 10 levels at level 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50 at the final one, okay? You get like a skin. You get a skin or you get an item or something exclusive to Dota Underlords. So basically the way it works is that you unlock that skin. Not only does the Vengeful Spirit in game get the red crimson wings, but you can now, if you play Vengeful Spirit in Dota 2, you can wear those red crimson wings. Okay? And you can only get them if you play Dota Underlords. Sell the battle pass for $5. People are used to paying way more for stuff in Dota 2, right? $5 is a bargain to get 5 items, right? Trust me, I'm pretty sure this set is like, each one of these items is like a couple $100, by the way. I picked the most expensive one on purpose. But anyways, you advertise this in the Dota 2 client. There's going to be people who play just to unlock the items. They'll pay $5 for the battle pass, they'll unlock the items, and you'll never see them again. But you know what's going to happen? Some people are going to play and be like, you know what? I actually like this. I actually like this game. And what's going to happen is they have a game of Dota 2 where they tilt out, they get all upset, and they back off, and they say, you know what? I need to chill. I'm going to play some Underlords. And they play Underlords for fun. And they're investing in your battle passes. They're in the community. They're feeding the pool of players. They're providing feedback in Reddit. And now you've built a community. Maybe they're really good and they want to play competitively. All because they tried the game because they had a legitimate reason to. You have a 700,000 player monster in Dota 2. It's unacceptable that you cannot siphon those players to your other games when possible, okay? Make people unlock stuff in Dota Underlords for Dota 2. It's that easy, okay? I'm not a game dev. It might be harder than that. I get it. But listen, this is the golden ticket. This one right here, okay? And it's nothing new. I'm not being inventive. Blizzard did this, okay? Back when I played Heroes of the Storm, which, by the way, I actually really like as well. Dota 2 is way better, but Heroes of the Storm is still kind of fun. They did weekly cross-promotional events between Heroes of the Storm and Overwatch. And it was the exact same thing. What they did it was a little different here. I would recommend doing a battle pass thing, but basically what they did, they were trying to like build communities in both. So they said, hey, if an Overwatch player plays in Heroes of the Storm and like you're playing games with friends, you play 5 games, you get an exclusive skin you cannot unlock any other way. You get an exclusive skin in Overwatch, which is actually pretty cool at the time. People really loved this Genji skin. An icon and a spray. And then you get an exclusive skin here for, I don't know who this is. Is this Diva? Diva? I think maybe. I don't know, man. I don't play Overwatch anymore. But it's Diva with the little mech. But, you're in a skin, again, exclusive. You have to play Heroes of the Storm to get this skin. And then finally, 10 loot boxes for playing games in Heroes of the Storm. And you know what happened? I had people in my games who were relatively new being like, hey, man, I'm an Overwatch player. I'm here for the unlocks. Game's pretty good. It was literally every single conversation I had. The game's pretty good. And I literally friended some of those people and they still play the game to this day. It works, okay? Blizzard proved it. I don't know why Valve's not doing it. It makes so much damn sense. One of Dota 2's best systems is the guild system, okay? And while the battle pass is one form of progression, a guild system similar to the one found in Dota 2 would give people in Dota Underlords much more meaningful progression long term, okay? Now, obviously, as a content creator, I would love the idea of being able to create a guild and get people that support me into that guild and have fun. It's another way for me to engage. But you have communities on Reddit that can engage with it. You have communities, all over that can engage with it, Twitter, etc. People can just find, it creates a different type of engagement and a social experience, that people can really appreciate in Dota Underlords. And the key thing is with Dota Underlords is you have to keep people engaged. Engagement comes from rotations. It comes from seasons. It comes from the battle pass. It comes from the unlocks from the guild system. Okay, you have to unlock. You have to give people a reason to play the game, and the guild system is one of them. You could even have, exclusive yos and sprays being built into the guild system. And what's interesting is my guild in Dota 2 is basically based off of Dota Underlords. It's Heroes of White Spire. It's inspired by Underlords because almost the entirety of my guild were players that played Dota Underlords as well, and almost none of them play anymore because there's no reason to. We're all the same. It's we all love Underlords in this guild, but there's no reason to play the game anymore because it's the same damn thing. It has been since February, right? So I think a guild system would be truly remarkable in the game's ability to kind of regain relevance. I really do. And again, any form of additional progression is beneficial to the game as a whole. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. And if you have any ideas, please let me know. I'd love to engage in a discussion with you guys because this game means a lot to me, and I think everyone has fantastic ideas. Thank you guys so much for watching, and a very special thank you to all of my wonderful subscribers. We'll see you guys in the next video.